Alright, welcome back. Next video. Today we're tackling something that's very annoying with the car. It has a bunch of trouble getting into a couple of gears, especially from 1 to 2, and reverse is very noticeable. So to combat this, I've bought a few basically maintenance parts. Seems it's a pretty common occurrence with these. So let's check it out. So for this job I got a clutch slave cylinder, the master cylinder, and the cable that runs in between. The one on the car from factory is split in a bunch of different parts, including a few rubber lines that are probably very old by now. This should simplify the whole piece and make it easier to bleed as well for the future. And well, people say it improves the clutch feel, so we'll see about that. Well, let's get to the car and take off the old stuff and put these on. Okay, I've got the car jacked up on one side. The master cylinder can be found here with its line that goes all along the firewall, and you can see what they call the pigtail right over there, and the slave cylinder is attached to it. Focus please. So we'll be taking all that off and replacing it with the new stuff. Okay, after a lot of struggle, got both the bolts out from the sleeve. There's very little space here, so no way for me to properly record it. Next up, removing the line so the sleeve can come off. Okay, sleeve cylinder is off. Now all that remains is the pigtail. That point is easy, but there's another one higher up which is impossible to really film, so on to the next struggle. Here you can see all the old pieces. I tried really hard to get it all off without breaking them, but unfortunately the upper portion of the pigtail was just super seized and I ended up breaking it. So, oh well. Here I am assembling the new slave cylinder and adding some grease so it is able to move freely. So, new slave is on with the line connected here. Now for the master cylinder. Adding some fresh .4 brake fluid to the new master cylinder. Here you can see a comparison with the new and old. Yeah, the old is pretty nasty looking. In an attempt to remove as much air in the master cylinder as possible, here I'm pushing the back side of it as if you would press on the clutch, so you basically bleed it. New master and line mounted. Here my girlfriend is in the car pushing the pedal as I open and close the bleeder on the slave, and repeated this process until only fluid and no more air came out. Well, job complete. Just finished the test drive. Unfortunately, it didn't solve the problem. I'm hoping the clutch is the issue, which will be the next part of this video, I guess. I will not be doing it myself because I have no desire to be doing that on the ground. So I will take it elsewhere and have it done. Well, guess I'll cut the video to that right about now. Okay, it's the day before the appointment for the clutch installation. I'll quickly go over what I've got prepared. So yeah, let's take a look. There is a lighter flywheel. This one is, I think, 4.9 kilo. I'll put somewhere on the screen the factory flywheel weight. This should make the car feel faster. I hope there's not too much of a change in drivability. People in the review said there isn't, so let's hope they are correct. Besides the flywheel, we have a clutch kit. Here's the clutch disc. It's from Buffy Racing. It's a hybrid clutch. This is what it would normally look like, and the one with the pads, that's usually a bit more performance orientated, and it may be a little more difficult to drive, but this side is the one that engages, I think, with the engine, and this should be almost like original. This is, however, capable of holding enough power for when the turbo goes on, so this will be just fine. We also have a new throwout bearing, an alignment tool, which, well, I'm sure the guys at the place have, but it's there. And this is the pressure plate, and oh, it's orange, which I think is Buffy's main color. You won't see it once it's installed, obviously, because it is in the gearbox, or in front of, behind, I don't know, whatever. But it's a cool detail that I know, and well, I guess you know because you're watching the video. But yeah, that's it. I also have a Mazda rear main seal because the car is leaking at that place. Let's cut to the next day where we get it installed. Oh, day of the clutch appointment. Got the parts right here. We'll drop it off. No filming since I won't be there. They're giving me another MX-5 as a loaner car. If it's anything interesting, I'll see if I can make some clips about it. Otherwise, I'll catch up with you when I collect the car again. You rejoin me, I guess, around a week and a half later. The garage needed a couple days to replace everything because a bunch of stuff was seized. So that means, unfortunately, the bill was quite a bit higher than I had hoped. But, well, it's solved. The new clutch, I guess I've bedded it in by now. Not sure how much I drove since then, but should be okay. Feels great. It's very, I guess, sporty feeling. The engagement is much more direct. It's a little harder to drive off, but nothing the bit of getting used to shouldn't solve. I did, however, solve the shifting problem, so that's great. It now shifts real nice. I'll show you the leftover stuff. The garage had to cut a bunch of stuff, and they also replaced the power plant frame. That is this big base right here, which connects the gearbox to the rear differential. Here's the carnage from the old stuff. The garage really struggled. I had to weld on a nut to get this off. This snapped off, or they had to cut it. The old leaky seal. The old clutch. Not much left on that one. Here's the original flywheel. Never mind, the rust has been outside for a couple of days. This is the weight of it. So, pretty substantial difference, but not too excessive. Pretty good. Oh, I realized I didn't actually record an outro for this video, so I have to do it after the fact. New clutch installed with a fresh, lighter flywheel. Works great. Big fan. Hydraulics refreshed. Maybe not really necessary, but good maintenance. And we can be sure it is done. Clutch is now ready to handle more power, and we can move on to the next thing. See you in the next video.